my name is Chloe Fellwock, and I'm the Communications Assistant here at the National Hemophilia Foundation. Here for 9 months. I joined in June of 2022, and that was 1 month after I graduated from Ball State. So first job after college. So I've always been a really big fan of a well-told story. So growing up, I was always super interested in reading and writing and the fine arts and things like that. And as I started going through school and getting to later high school and early college, communications kind of just seemed like a natural translation point to bring all those skills into the workforce. So honestly, I started out in college as an advertising major. I intended to be on the creative side of like writing ads, directing them, things like that. And as I kind of got into the nitty-gritty of my concentration, which was actually public relations, I realized I liked a lot more of the kind of working with people and helping to cultivate an organization's relationship with people a lot. So that's how I got here. Yeah. It's been really interesting. So honestly, the principles you learn in school aren't not that different, whether you go from a nonprofit or a for-profit organization. I was sort of used to it. A lot of the internships that I had taken and companies that I had worked for prior to kind of entering the workforce were nonprofits themselves or like smaller businesses. So I was already kind of used to like the scale on which we operate and just kind of like the general structure. I worked in, I did internships with different healthcare nonprofits. I worked in tourism. I worked for a small magazine. I worked for a company that, tried to give students career advice for their resumes and things like that. So when I came here, it was sort of that experience, but like magnified. And, being all that much more involved in an organization really just kind of shows you like how intricate the whole process is. One of the biggest highlights I've seen so far, this was about 2 months into my time at NHF, and I was already going off to my first BDC. And that was just such a cool experience because, while I was still kind of getting used to like, how does this normally go? What kinds of things do people actually do at this conference? Everywhere you looked, whether it was like a symposium or some kind of a talk or just people sitting around socializing, like they were people from like literally every age group and like all over the country. And everybody just had this sense of like, breathe out, like you're around people who like get what you're going through, even if they don't have the same bleeding disorder as you, or, not the same family situation or whatever it was. Like everybody just had this general understanding of like, you're understood here. And that was so cool because like especially working remotely, you kind of, you understand that these are like real people and real experiences that your work is affecting. But at some points you can kind of get used to it. That kind of just helped me visualize like, holy smokes, like the copy that I'm writing, the graphics I create, the data that I'm pulling and analyzing and everything in between, that's affecting like real lives and it matters a lot. And you can tell just like by the way people act at BDC, like it does matter a lot to have that kind of community and the resources that we're able to offer, which is really cool.